Okay, everybody, it's me, Gregory Mannarino. This is going to be good. It is Tuesday, October 18th, 2022. This is my post-market wrap-up. Right off the bat, I want to give a big shout-out to Rudy, Alaska Prepper. I was not familiar with this gentleman's work. Apparently, he gave me a shout-out, so I had to go check him out. Well, this guy's good. His work is phenomenal. And I want all of you out here, if you haven't checked this guy out, to check him out now. I'm going to place a link in the description of this video to Rudy, Alaska Prepper. Very worthwhile listening to. Dude, you're okay in my book, and thanks for the shout out. Anyway, people, let's get back on track here. I want to start off with this. All of you know, maybe you know, and I mean maybe you know, how much I detest central banks. To me, central banks collectively, they're all run by the same entities, are public enemy number one. Their mission here is, and they're doing it effectively, break the global economy and break the people with it. That is what's going on right now when you're not being told. This is leading us all down a terrible pathway where eventually they're going to put people like you and I at each other's throats. And I mean that in the literal sense. What are they doing? By destroying the global economy right now, they're creating very desperate people. Consider what's going on here. Okay, central banks, believe me, they're well aware of what's going on. The global economy in free fall. It's accelerating. I got some more economic news I want to talk to you about. Of course, it's bad. It's not going to stop. But we're not even in the opening act here. Central banks understand the global economy is collapsing. Meanwhile, what are they doing? They're aggressively raising rates. They're selling a lie. You know what the lie is, that rates are too low. That's the reason why inflation is out of control. So let's talk about that for a moment. Central banks. Who's responsible for the financial system and the economy? Well, it's central banks. So these central banks here, so what did they do? They kept rates artificially suppressed for way too long. That has created an epic oversupply of fiat currency around the world. And now we're seeing all these extra bills chasing a lesser amount of goods, bang, skyrocketing inflation like they didn't see this coming. Really? It's a setup. It's deliberate. They're destroying the global economy, breaking it, and they're breaking the people with it. All this is a move here to a feudal system. Extreme haves, extreme have-nots. I've covered this for over a decade. You all know that. But it's accelerating, and it's getting worse based on some of the economic news that we even just got today. But every day, it's the same story. We're going to cover some of that, but let's just look over at this stock market here. A nice rally today on Wall Street. Stocks higher across the board. I mean, I get such a kick out of, flipping through, CNBC, Bloomberg, Fox Business, and watching the commentators in their like orgasmic face. The stock market's higher. They spray their shorts all over the place, these people. But again, they're not talking about the driver here. Look, I covered earlier today, if you didn't see the video I did this morning, and I've been covering this a lot lately here. Without some kind of stabilization here in the debt market, the global debt market is the freaking key here. It's the key to everything. You all know that if you've been with me for a while here. The debt market basically defines the value of every single other asset. The stock market itself, if you're new here, well, pay attention, is a derivative of what's happening in the debt market. The debt market is unstable, and it's not just Greg Mannarino saying. This is getting mainstream media outlet coverage. Janet Yellen stain, the thing, the troll, whatever it is. Everything was fine for weeks. Now all of a sudden she's concerned. I'm concerned about it. We're concerned. Can't make this stuff up. It's impossible to do. Okay, IMF, World Bank, major institutions all say, hey, there's a problem here. Okay, debt market is illiquid. something's going to be done. And, it's a ticking time bomb. You all know that. An implosion in this debt market is not just a financial problem. Yes, it would wipe out the stock market. Forget about it. All around the world. But it's going to come down to a resource problem. Basic necessities that we need to live are not going to become available. The entire financial system is going to lock up. That's where they're going with this. They need a massive outcry. And they're going to get it. They're going to get it. And then, of course, they're going to issue in their new system, more control. And that period of time where, again, the implosion in the debt market leads to a locking up of the financial system, I mean, you better be ready for it. So that's where, Rudy comes in here. Go pay attention to this guy. Tell you what to. I've been telling people they need to prepare themselves, at least mentally, spiritually, physically, everywhere you can. Make alliances with people in your neighborhoods here. Be ready for a worst case scenario always. Always. If it doesn't happen, great. But if it does happen, you're ready. A meltdown of this financial system, which, look, central banks are pushing this on us so deliberately. This is a deliberate act. They're breaking the global economy. They're breaking the people with it. Wars, expanding wars, disease processes, this crisis, that crisis, another crisis, whatever they got to do to continue to inflate the global money supply. All that's doing is exacerbating the issue of inflation. This whole thing with rates being too low, and that's the problem. It's a lie. It's a lie. It's not even meant to stop inflation. It's meant to crush demand and crush the economy. Henceforth, why, let's touch on some news here. Home builder sentiment falls for 10 consecutive months. People cannot afford to buy homes anymore. We're turning into a nation, a world of renters. Let me let you in on a little secret here. How they keep people suppressed is by forcing them to rent, lease, and borrow their way through life. The dream of most people, or if you look at a successful person, let's just use a person that has attained some level of success. Okay. What's the difference between that guy or girl and, let's say, the average person? Well, the successful person owns things. They don't rent, lease, and borrow their way through life, but that's what people are being forced to do. They're being forced to do at an accelerated pace here, with inflation surging out of control, with no end in sight. No end in sight. The only person on the mainstream media that I have seen raise awareness here a little bit is Sarah Eisen. Sarah Eisen from CNBC had a guest where she said, well, the Fed's been raising rates, but it's not working. Yeah. Sarah, big shout out to you. You probably don't know me from anybody, but big shout out to you that you had the guts to bring that up, because it's not working and it's not meant to work. Sarah knows that. Okay, let me explain this to you too. These commentators on the mainstream, they're not stupid. They know what's going on here. Okay, clearly, but they can't tell you. Guys like me, guys like Rudy, we're going to tell you the truth. Okay, we're going to tell you the truth. It's so important to know the truth, to be enlightened, to actually have your mind open as to what is going on here. And this is a destruction. It's an elimination. It's an extermination. But I don't see the outcry. I don't see people in the streets. Nothing. They've been lulled into a sense of learned helplessness. I've been explaining this to you. They feel like there's nothing they can do about it, but there is. Raise awareness. Share this video. Share Rudy's videos. Get out here. Pay attention to people that are trying to make a difference, like yourself. All of you here. All of you. Some of you have been with me for years. You're trying to make a difference. You're trying to raise awareness. You're getting out there. You're talking about things. Some of you are even blogging about this stuff. It's so important. It really, really is. Anyway, let me refocus here. So rally on Wall Street, 10-year yield remaining stable. All right, just under 4%. Okay, is this a sign that things are going to normalize here? I guess we're going to have to see, but without direct intervention by central banks to normalize this global debt market, it's just over. Everything's going to end. It's going to end eventually, but are they going to push it off a little bit? Well, we're going to have to see here. With regard to this currency free fall, the real issue here, for those of you that may be new, okay, it's not rates that are the problem here, rates being too low, central banks selling you that lie. It's the currency. We're in a currency crisis. We're in a financial crisis beyond anyone's wildest dreams here, and the currency is part of the debt. Okay, you don't own this stuff. The central bank issued currency, these are IOUs. They're IOUs. They're not owned by you. They're owned by the issuing central bank, owed back to the issuing central bank, plus interest they create out of thin air. Who came up with that concept? But yeah, that's the way it works. But anyway, without two things, like I said in my morning video, without a stabilization here in the debt market and a stabilization of the currency, which is not going to happen because central banks are determined to kill it in its current form, well, things aren't going to get any better for a long time. And things are probably going to get a hell of a lot worse. So, let's just touch on commodities here. Gold and silver fell under some pressure. Crude oil got hit pretty hard because our illustrious president said, he's going to make sure that they release some oil so we can lessen the burden on people because they're paying so much for energy. What is he doing? Right before the midterms, he's trying to buy votes. Duh. I think we all know that. Anyway, what else did I want to tell you? I think I covered pretty much what I wanted to say here, people. Just don't lose sight of where we're going and what you need to do to prepare for it. Henceforth, where Rudy comes in, but at least from that kind of look, I'm a guy here. I have a stash of non-perishables for a worst case scenario. And we all need to at least have a way to sustain ourselves in a worst case scenario implosion. The debt market is going to wipe out global stock markets, yes. But it's the resource problem that's going to develop because of it. And it's engineered. It's being engineered that way. They need a massive outcry. An outcry on a biblical level to bring about more control. To bring about a new system with a lot less people. And that's what it's going to come down to. Pandemonium in the streets. I don't know another way to put that. Expect pandemonium in the streets to break out. Crime. Probably some kind of military control, martial law. You got to be ready for these things. Whether they happen or not, look, we'll see. But if you can just envision what central banks are trying to do here, deliberately breaking the global economy and breaking the people with it. And we haven't seen anything yet. Nothing. So just be ready. Be ready for it. And I know you are. All right, people, look, that's pretty much it. I don't want this video to get too long. But again, that's all. Do check out Rudy's channel. Link in the description of this video. Very worthwhile. I will be paying attention to that myself, as a matter of fact. And I hope you do too. With that said, people, I love all of you, and I mean that from my heart. Please share the video. Get it out there. Comment. Make a freaking difference in the world. That's all. A positive difference. That's all I want to do, and that's what I want everyone to do. All right, we can make a difference, and it's just got to start somewhere. Okay, things start out small, and then they just can grow and grow and grow and grow. Anyway, that's it. I'll see you all in the morning.